Good evening, everybody. Welcome back, as ever, to Building Blocks, where we program Minecraft mods live on camera. Meow. Meow. Thank you very much for Master of Pudding. And also to Forbidden and to Marsh earlier. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, so, generally speaking, things go horrifically wrong, and boy is it entertaining to watch it do so. Not a whole ton has changed since you guys last saw this code, but nonetheless, it's looking a little bit more spiffy and whatnot, so let's just have a quick look at that. And... yeah?
WAZ this then.
Nonny? Really? You've been on a tear this week, it seems. Huh. So, as per usual, we do not have the screen until we actually have the pact going. Haven't changed the actual beginning section yet, that will be coming along. And here we have the nice little system that has now been changed up, so the rewards and the criteria are always like bouncing back and forth. This gives us a lot more space to write things for each level, and things grey out when they have been completed, and they're still gold if you haven't done them yet, and then you can, yeah, also good. And if we change our particular choice of quest, so a pact, let me see, what's the, I want flask ozone, or, wait, no, I want pact drink, yeah, there we go, that's the liquid ozone. If I start that one, I lose all of my XP, because, I just abandoned the Witch in the Woods quest, and now I'm able to gain it back a little bit more. Yeah! Pretty nice, pretty nice. The XP is still a little wonky, because some of it's handled client-side, some of it's handled server-side, but pretty much everything else works just fine. We're still only on the vanilla kind of rewards. I will be adding in other ones. We do have a couple different... a couple of different end games available, so if we have a look at those... Plump. We have access to the Changeling one, and we have access to the Lightling one, and currently we have access to a temp one for Phoenix. I'm hoping to release the mod with actually 3, like, different major packs, and at least, like, 5 different end games. Don't have terribly many ideas. Neo? Again? Really? Okay. I already have dinner tonight, but okay, I guess. Also, dang, I'm looking yellowish, aren't I? Have I been inside of quarantine for so long that I've just suddenly become, like, what's the phrase here? Gaunt? Jaundiced, that's the phrase. That's better. Okay. Shouldn't be. I'm the only person in this house that eats citrus. I shouldn't be getting jaundice. Okay. Yeah, I don't have terribly many ideas for end games other than the Lightlings and the Changelings currently. Thank you, Cam. Man, I'm only up here in the boss bar is taking a beating today. Partially from themselves. We'll give lying money hours. Is it that time of the month? Huh. Yeah, it's very easy for me to make these for the most part. The question majorly is just, what do we want to happen? And the endgames have to be hard-coded. There's too much going on in them that we could just, for us to just reduce them to a series of, like, commands and whatnot. So, this stream is really chat sugar. I mean, that's what chat does most nights. So yeah, if anybody happens to have any ideas for what an endgame could be, what could a eldritch powerful being of questionable morals and objectives, like, ultimately do if you complete their pact, let me know in Modding in Bedmon on the Discord. But today, we are mostly going to be working on getting rid of all of this, and actually having it be built from the JSON stuff, which will then allow us to change it in the config as ever we like. So that will allow people to add new pacts, allow them to customize existing pacts, all sorts of things. You'll be able to have them as long or short or whatever as you like. You'll be able to completely shut them off at certain points should you desire, and it will just make things much more interesting, suffice it to say. A lot of my week has been otherwise mostly involved with getting to grips with 1.15.2 for a quick side project that I got commissioned for, and oh boy, was that fun, considering half of it hasn't been translated yet. Oh. Endgame float cake, as opposed to integer cake, which is what we currently have. Actually, there is a fault. You can have up to like 16 variants of a block state. How many variants does cake currently use? Six. Huh, you could add 10 additional slices of cake. Today I learned. Hover cake? Does cake break when you remove the block under it? I could have sworn it was like... I could have sworn it was like, beds and it didn't do that. Oh well, anyways. So yeah, today we are going to be hooking this up to the actual stuffs and seeing exactly what happens as a consequence. So currently, when we get to the end, we just have that, and it completely ignores everything that's coming in. And once we've gotten all of that actually in there, what we want to do next is actually update the defaults so that it understands exactly what's going on. Now, what is your problem? Blank field, endgame type. Okay. So for that, we're going to want a resource location. Equals pact endgames.get endgame by name. Endgame in B. Let's see that. Okay, we've got tiers call, we got endgame selected, got tiers in, good. Display text, it's gonna be a bit more of a complicated thing, but it's fine for right now. So that whole chunk right there is what we were previously using. Now a hecton's going to be very broken. So let's see, resource location and game equals JSON utils dot. I actually called it JSON. Wow. JSON utils dot has field JSON endgame. Get string from there endgame. Otherwise, look. And let's actually make that a resource location. And to completely remove Famcraft and then add it back in. I can tell you already that's going to cause a lot of damage, but good luck otherwise. Unsable ingots, you just spent 20 minutes trying to craft with them and dying. Oh, there's a definite knack to it. That knack frequently involves getting somebody else to do it, while you just wait at a safe distance. The totems and cult stuff? Yeah, because those are Famcraft world gen. Okay, so we've got that going. Build tier from JSON. Pact, the criteria map is going to need to be something else entirely, because that is currently non-existent. Apologies everybody, this may end up being one of those streams where just a lot happens that we don't really have necessarily a visual display of. So you might not necessarily know what's going on until we're way past doing it. So yeah, here's this list of rewards, and that's going to need to be actually, like, generated from something else now. Because, certainly... let's see, pact rewards. Let's open that up. To-string, deserializer. There you are. Okay, so there is rewards, and then there's the contents. Could that not just be its own array? Would make much more sense now, wouldn't it? Ah, but we don't have the object, we need to deserialize it from the element. There. Okay. So, every entry in that array has something called a type, and then an NBT thing combining its data. So, let's start real easily here. So, rewards, blip, and this wants to be an array, not a non-object? Yeah. Okay. I have to try and figure out exactly how this works, because I don't tend to use it very much. Okay, and we have that, in which we say type is experience, and data. Yep, good, gets that JSON object. Now if we look at pact, or reward, I think it was, reward experience, we can go to from JSON. So there is experience and there is levels. So let's say experience, let's say 30, and levels, let's say 1. Okay. So that should be what that actually should work out to be. Should be, being the operative word. The next step is criteria. So criteria are a little bit more complicated. Foundcraft heck things up. It tended to, in my experience, it does that a lot. Does a lot of interesting stuff, and not necessarily in the most stable fashion. Which has Foundcraft been discontinued at this point? I can't remember. Okay, so next up is this, and the criteria are a whole other kettle of fish, as it were. Because we need a count, we need a trigger, we need the data for the conditions and such. So if we go to criterion type, would that be a good place to go for this? Yes, it may well be. Okay. Actually, no, criterion. Yeah, it's an enum. Yeah, we can do it in here. So, let's see. What information do we have to work on here? Answer however much I give it. But, yeah, for right now. No longer under the original person, but they gave it up to the community who wanted to finish it. Well, Godspeed them, that works. That usually tends to work out, intriguingly. Seriously, actually, good luck with that. Okay, so we get the object, and from there we should be able to create a map. Criteria. Tell that I can spell from JSON. Fun little interesting thing I discovered when I was tinkering with 115 is that, you know, language? That thing that we use to speak, that's very conveniently held in this .lang file. 115 doesn't do that anymore. It uses JSON. For some unknown reason. Oy. Okay, so tier passes the object of criteria. And from there, from there we need to give it a string pact criterion map. Okay. At least they aren't letting their mod die completely, unlike some. Are you referring to me? Because I'm still working on most things. I have only so much time. Right, so so from the object we then... That should be JSON object, shouldn't it? From the object we need to iterate through a list of fields. So for string field in JSON dot entry set. It's almost right. But I don't see anything else. So I guess we have to go through by entry. Let's see, what's that? Set entry string JSON element. Gotcha. Okay, so string criteria name equals entry dot key. And then we need to figure out what the criteria itself is. Let's see. We can read it from MBT data, generally speaking. There's all of this information. Initial count, counts, conditions, type, name, that kind of thing. So, let's see, JSON elements, data equals entry dot value, int initial count equals data dot okay, nope. JSON utils dot get integer from the element. We want data, and that wants to be count. So how many times you have to complete this particular criterion? Talking about a model that dissipated from the face of the... Oh! Eminif. Gotcha. What's the shirt I'm wearing? This is from Outlands. This was a gift from Fuzz ages and ages ago. Okay, we've got 2 values here. We need a fair bit more. So we need to get the type. Type. Yeah?
Many monies for the most wonderful gift that's you.
Aww. I hope you will enjoy all the Fox gifts I dug up for these alerts. Aw, thank you very much. I love that you knew exactly who I was talking about. I mean, yeah! That mod was on the cusp of adding some really amazing stuff. It was genuinely breaking the mold in a lot of interesting ways. Okay, so when I get the type, as a string. What did Eminif make? Witchery. Yes, yes, Milo. Oof. Okay, so now that we've gotten the name of the type, we need to convert that into an actual criterion type. Or we could theoretically build that via the criterion type. That's an idea. Let's see. It's always handy to have a function that just zips through you through a list of enums and just spits out the one that matches. do believe you redeemed a hug, Carol. You did indeed. It was before the stream started, so it didn't seem to be much point in showing you. Gilf, otherwise known as genetically engineered life form. Of which there are quite a few inside of Red Wolf, understandably. If type equals null, continue. So we skip over any that we don't recognize at all. But let's have a log here. Jason, utils to get straight. There. Okay. Got the name, we got the type. So now we should be able to actually create one from the handler, and as such, I think pact criterion extends from handler, doesn't it? No. But if we take this form of pact criterion, then we should be able to actually use it. Because we just need to get the conditions. That's the last thing that we need, okay. Nice video tutorial, might buy DVD, I mean, have fun with it. The terminology guide is not exactly what I would call a thorough guide to how to play the game, but does help you understand it at least a bit more. Having examined 4 months on C++ and feel you can't learn anything, do you have any advice? I'm probably not the best person to ask. Not because I don't know how to do C++, actually it's one of the things I've done a lot in, but because my brain does not work like the vast majority of people's. I am autistic, so how I learn is going to be very different to how most people learn. But if anybody in chat has any ideas, absolutely. Let's see. No. You'd think, considering how similar and alike Jason and MB Tag are, that they would be actually compatible, but nope, doesn't look like it. We just get Jason objects. So let's see. We need to put counting, huh? I don't see any different. I mean, there's a lot of people that could see me very different, but for usually not that reason. But yeah, good luck. So we need to get ourselves this chunk in a fashion that we can then actually read it through the pact criterion as MBT data. Yep, your medicine is a side effect of making very tired. Okay, night run. Have good sleep. Okay, and then we want to criteria.put. We'll just put getting the conditions on the back burner for the moment. New pact criterion. And the value is the name, the type, the count, and the conditions. Okay, so that should go through all of them. Let's see, we should have a value in here just in case somebody forgets to put in a count. default to 1. Where's your problem? JSON elements, JSON object. Really? Hmm. You'd think that would be in there quite happily, but apparently not. Elements, gets the integer value of the given. Okay. Interesting. Guess we need JSON objects rather than elements then. Or JSON arrays, I guess? Yeah, JSON can have JSON objects. Okay. But I don't even... Oh boy. Okay, there's an iterator, at least. Oh boy, I just made this a lot more complicated, didn't I? You always thought of bats were cute. The ones you always think of are flying foxes, the fruit eaters. Yeah, they're entertaining. They're cute. See, that returns an element. That's not what we're looking for. Get, that returns that. Ugh. Interesting. Very interesting. Mostly irritating. But also that. We need to get multiple values out of this, and from the looks of things, we can really only get 2. Like, it doesn't even actually reference that until it's trying to break it out. Representing an element of JSON could either be a link JSON object, or a JSON array, or a primitive, or a null. Okay. So it could be an object. We just don't currently have it as an object because JSON objects themselves are an entry set. So could an element... Object consists of name to value pairs where names are strings and values are any other type of element. Okay, so if we cast them, it shouldn't have too much of a complaint. Shouldn't being the operative word. There. Okay. So now we need to somehow get an NPT tag compound that we can pass through as conditions, because otherwise we don't have very... There's not very many criteria that don't have conditions involved. really hard part comes in when those have nested MBT themselves. Because, yeah, there's like 2 different MBT compound tags right there just for killing something. What you killed, well, what died, and how. I'm just gonna quick Google, see if anybody's done this before. Looks like a lot of people. Oh boy, have tried to do this. Wonder if there's gonna be something very simple and ridiculously easy. Can I literally just ask? No, it doesn't look like it. I was gonna ask, could I just generate an MB tag compound by giving it the data that I need to actually generate? Wouldn't that be lovely? I'm guessing Jason doesn't extend from MBT. Nope, it's its own class. I mean, I could make a parser. That's one thing, but that will take literal hours. Do some Ars bosses? Oh god, I remember the Ars bosses. I remember I wanted to make like an arena of them, and then right before I filmed that with Nipdy, we updated so that you couldn't catch them inside of Safari nets. Like literal hours before. That was entertaining. Alright, so let's hop into VO Helper. Nah, I'm not seeing anything here that's from Jason. Yeah, it was worth checking. Okay. That Jerry doesn't die again. I mean, Moses died a fair few times, as I recall. Okay. 4. Entry string to JSON element and object in dot entry set. Mistype that? No. Apparently, though. Moses, yes, the giant Tinker's Construct slime that was in just the swamp inside of Flux Buddies. Who like came from behind as like a big murderer of vampires, as it turns out. Okay, if entry dot... Nope, that doesn't help me. We can set the value... Get the... Okay, right, yes, of course. Value dot is an array. Else if value dot is a primitive or an object. Object will take to mean a tag compound. Else if value dot is JSON null. Primitive. I'm not 100% certain how to handle primitives. Like that would just be a string, a boolean, an integer, that kind of thing. But I don't know how to identify which. That part's relatively straightforward. Okay. Infiltration ep, where they look at the vampire cells? Yeah. Oh, infiltration ep. Gotcha. So yeah, like that is a primitive right there. It's just a string. Value, because we don't want that after a few times over here. There's all these different things, and I need to know which one it is. Should remake Nature Reclaims? What, for like a third or fourth time? Don't I have enough projects going on? You get is number or is string. That's probably the most helpful. Okay. Okay, that should help. Perish, do I do it? Believe me, if I had a lot more time, I might probably look into that, but Okay, last one we probably need to get working here is the array part. Partially because we actually already used that. Like, right here. So, for an array, we would need to go through each individual entry. And then read that, presuming that they're JSON objects or not. That's the question. Steal time? From what, exactly? Do I look like Ben 10? or Clock Stoppers, which was a entertainable, if like underrated movie. Entertainable, entertaining. My language is. I've been staring at this confounding code for so long. My language is already going weird. Okay. So JSON array. Should have yeah, we can get the elements by integer. Okay. For int I equals 0, I is lower than JSON array dot size I plus plus. Array.add_pend element to nbt that element. So now we have to more or less go through this whole thing again. Steal a DeLorean, break into a clock factory, borrow the TARDIS. I feel like if Doctor Who had like any stipulations, like any inclination to let people use the TARDIS, it would definitely be an "I'm coming with you" kind of thing. Okay, yeah, it's the same things. So, but does a JSON element have an entry set? That's the question for me. It does not seem to. So we must just want to nest basically all this again. Yep, Lance, thank you very much. Oh wait, no, Dusty, thank you very much. But also, hey Lance. Never traveling by TARDIS again? The last time Lion took a TARDIS. The last time one of me took a TARDIS, yes. No one's been riding it around for a long while. Okay, so if the value here is our element, didn't technically take the TARDIS, he found it. Technically, it found him. One found it just sitting there, the other again. Well, okay, one the TARDIS found them, and the other one it nicked them. It's oof. Wish there had been more lore behind the TARDIS stealing. There is more lore behind the TARDIS stealing. Base on array, yes, you should be getting an element there. Okay, what is your problem? Ah, because it's written like that, that's why. Okay. So that basically being all of this, we should be able to just set on the compound. So compound.set tag key JSON element to MBT that value. Hopefully I have that right. Disclaimer, I probably don't have that right. Not the 2 minutes at the beginning of Chaos that don't really explain what the crew were doing in the vault in the first place. We found it. Mating do is the lore behind the TARDIS stealing? What comes after the Haunting finale is a lot of lore on the TARDIS. Okay. So conditions then would equal VO helper dot MBT from JSON JSON utils dot get JSON object from the data called conditions. Okay. Now I mostly just have to hope that this parser works properly. Decent chance it doesn't. And there's a fair bit of nesting here. This might cause some kind of loop. It should be a loop that actually has a bottom to it, but anyways, we'll find out exactly how much I've hecked up in about 10 minutes when I come back from break. See you then. Welcome back, everybody. So, just as we exited there, we attempted to find out if we could actually figure out how to convert a JSON object to an NP tag compound. Now, structurally, those objects are identical. If we look over here into a JSON section here, we have a bunch of data which is arranged in pretty much identical fashion to how a compound is. Compound NBT, by the way, NBT data is how entities and all manner of things in-game actually, like, store data and such. Your player data is MBT. JSON, I have not the slightest clue what it stands for, but it is mostly used by Minecraft when it is reading stuff from actual system memory as opposed to in-game data. Why it doesn't just use one or the other, I don't know, but bleh, here we are. It decided in 1.15 to get rid of the lang file and use that as JSON as well for some reason. That was the least sensible thing it did. But JSON objects, as well as NBT, can be compounds, which is something that contains a bunch of different things. It can be arrays, which contains a list of different things. It can be strings, it can be integers. That's the main thing that you need to know. So we've been, just before break there, trying to figure out how to take a JSON object, which is like one of these, and convert that into an NP tag compound, which is the same thing but readable by the majority of Minecraft without any special handling. And I think we got it. But now we have to try and find out if indeed it has. So that's gonna be like where that could be where this breaks up completely. Let's find out, because this requires a lot of recursion, and it might mean that we end up breaking stuff. So we're just gonna try and boot, and the first thing that'll happen is there'll be complete gobbledygook, but we'll try. We have already told the pacts to read from the actual, like, JSON data. If this doesn't just outright break, I'll be surprised. Skipping pact with no tiers. Yeah, okay, that's a start. So we found that, in fact, we have no tiers available. Right. Let's open up the run section here. If we go to the config, we have the actual pacts folder here. This is where the ones that are written inside of here get dumped into memory. So this is where the stuff is hard-coded, and then it is exported into the config section and read from the config section so you can modify it later on. JavaScript object notation. Huh, well, today we know, today we learned. Right. So the next thing is tiers. We should be able to find the tiers. Now, I think there's a little bit of heck up here from me. Okay, yes, there's a string. Good. So, let's add some out here. Reading tier ID. Let's find out. This pretty much has to happen all at once, so we're probably going to be doing a lot of trial and error here. Okay, tried to read them. That's a start. Next question, why was it empty? Because the criteria map was empty, because I'm a dunce, that's why. But if we look back in here, should be back. And if we check down here, yep, that's good, that's the new stuff that we were adding. So, criterion type dot criteria from JSON.
Gender fluid pride.
Oh. Let's see. Yes, that's the one. Okay. So, criteria from JSON. Which apparently doesn't exist. Oh, that's because I missed a bracket. There we go. Criteria from JSON gets that object and then iterates through all the values, converting them into actual meaningful stuff that we know. So, for instance, what is its name? What is the, like, number of times you have to do it? And what's, like, do you have to do for that particular criteria, and that kind of thing. But, okay. Progress. At least now we know the Fey Witch one in the config is actually up to date, so we should be able to find out. Escaping Pact with no tears. Why? What happened there? We should have added some. Like, the entry set should be fine there. Maybe I should put some kind of cooldown on the Hug Carol thing. At least we don't actually have to boot into the world to check this data. We can just, like, go to the main menu and that's it. Okay, reading tier didn't find any elements. That's interesting indeed. Okay. Criteria from JSON must have been called this time, we know that. Because it's right here. Did I not call it criteria? I did call it criteria. Okay, what's up? Are the components working now? Don't know, because we're having trouble reading them. But we're working on it. Now the wall has their own eggs. Aww. Funnily enough, I also have eggs. Just on my desk. Interesting. We read the tier, but we never get to reading the criteria. Because if we so much as called this, then we would actually get that message. So something is going very wrong. Those aren't eggs, they're malted milk balls? No, they're very definitely eggs. Like, they're oval and everything. They have a distinct point at the tip. Okay, so why are we not reading anything there? That's the question for me. Didn't say if it was missing, so that's something. Just boot that again. Yep, mini eggs, Marsh. What kind of bird made those? Well, judging from my mother's recent sewing exploits, a flannel shirt reduced into a bird-like shape. Rebuilding your literally cleaved-in-half house whilst the front half lies no more than 14 blocks away. Ooh. Well, at least you have a good reference. Yeah, we never actually get... This function never gets called. How is that possible? Because the same line here that's calling and being read as reading tier, Minecraft tier 0, that kind of thing, is right there. Which would suggest that the deserialization of the rewards is not going well? Like if it's breaking there, maybe? Let's try shoving that there. The flavor of Robin mini eggs is malted milk balls. Huh. A friend of mine created a taint bomb. That sounds uncomfortable. That sounds incredibly uncomfortable. Okay, so we've shifted it around, and now it's actually showing us the data that's reading. So let's get it to now read out what the criterion it is that it actually creates at the end of that, the data. See if it actually reads that properly. So it might be... Do skyblocks produce light? I don't think they do. At least I don't recall them doing so. They just like displayed either a blank or the sky, as I recall. Depending on whether they were powered. Or not powered, depending on whether they were inverted. Inverted were always the most useful for building anyways. Unfortunately, a lot of the things that a lot of mods have done that I really enjoyed are like high-end graphics programming, which makes it basically infeasible that I will ever repeat them. Okay, yes, good. Did manage to read what they were. Grand, and also skip one that it didn't recognize from the Kieran part. Okay, so the next question is, why did we get skipped? Because it did manage to read that criterion. And that was put into the actual thing. So, I'm guessing the rewards is the part where it breaks entirely and isn't able to actually go into anywhere. Set up all the commands for creating taint, but put a lot of TNT underneath it, then detonate the TNT, throwing all the taint into the surrounding biomes. Oh, like when you destroy a block holding stuff, like cauldrons back in the day. Oof. Mean. Okay, so where... You know what that gets called? That gets called from the pact part. So there's a point where we deserialize and then we skip. Pacts, yeah, couldn't load. Skipping pact with no tiers. But the tiers are set by tiers in right there. So somehow we're ending up with a list of tiers that is still null. Or empty, at the very least. Guessing it's something in there that's causing it to be weird. Was it Duncan or the other dude that flooded the entire castle of Taint? Gonna say that's probably Duncan. Okay, yeah, couldn't read it. But why? Because the rewards. Criteria we know works, because we've seen it print that out. So there's something here that's causing a problem. And it's probably that. Can we just generate... We could by hand, I guess, for at least the moment. Let's generate pact rewards just by ourselves. Where you are. Right there. Okay, so that should bypass the rewards section and hopefully mean that it actually reads properly. Let's find out. I did say this was going to be a lot of trial and error. So this may not be the most visual kind of stream. But the end result is that probably most people will never touch these things. But, oh well, I actually don't know very many... There have been a few really fun, like, adventure maps made in mod packs. But, Loaded pact. Okay, that worked. Oh, we probably should make sure that we only add them if they actually have, like, criteria at the very least. So that's the read. Build pact, yes. So if tier does not equal null and tier.criteria.size is greater than 0. We can have tiers that don't actually have any, like, rewards, that's fine. But don't have criteria just means you'll immediately complete them and be gone. So, So there's a problem in trying to read the rewards. We can see that's a thing. So, we've got that going. Yeah, that's... Yep, good. So what do we need to do now? Well, first it might behoove us to take out some of the sysouts that I just put in here to make things readable. Oh, all that stuff. All that stuff. Remember back when I was just, like, testing if it was giving you rewards based on, like, if you received a cookie? And we didn't put an endgame thing in there, so it doesn't know about that. Oh, all that stuff. All of that stuff. Yo, helper, that's my shot to the right. Nope. Criterion type. There you are. Okay, so the problem is in the rewards. So rewards deserialize like so. And there's evidently some kind of problem happening here. Next question, why? Are we failing to get... Is get name the name? Yes, it's that. Okay, right. First check. I haven't just mistyped it or anything. Also, why is that breaking things entirely? Patrols can take a list, so that's fine. lag is real? Oh no! Old Club Penguin events? Wow. That's going back a ways, Dusty. Okay, just to get some cleanliness here, I'm gonna get rid of that. If it detects that there are any pacts, it will not put any... It won't clone the defaults back in, but if it detects that there is nothing there, it'll put defaults in. So there's always going to be something. You just might not be able to do anything with it to begin with. You missed Club Penguin? Did Club Penguin go under? I can't remember. Okay, couldn't read it. Why? Deserializing rewards. Type experience data. Good. Okay. We do ask for type, which we can see here is experience. The array does have that. Okay. But I don't see us hitting the actual attempting to read part. Which suggests that the entry is not actually showing anything. Let's find out. 2 years ago? Wow. Had a big send-off. Was there... I swear there was... I've never ever touched Club Penguin. Like, I had more experience with Habbo Hotel than I ever had with Club Penguin. Okay, entry 0, rewards was that. Okay. So what was the problem? Had trouble trying to read the string, evidently. Because probably it was a JSON element when it needs to be a JSON object. Okay. Should hopefully give us some information. Why are all your favorite childhood games dead? Well, Dusty, games tend to die when they get older. Many things, in fact, tend to die when they get older. Okay. Attempting to read reward experience. Loaded pact. Okay, that seems to have done it. But let's actually have a readout there of what we just managed. translate. There you are. Let's do that and see if we can actually identify what happens there. They become either legends or retro. I think that's both. Possibly, yeah. $30 XP. Grand. Okay, that did read properly. Because that is exactly what we put there. We don't have levels written into that just yet, but... Okay. So that should mean that it actually managed to load it, so it's all good. So... Okay, right. I don't think I've got any more superfluous things here built here from Jason. That should be everything, I think. Should be all of the sysouts, but let's find out by just booting it. And giving yourself all the research, you gave yourself all the warp. Oh dear. Didn't mean to boot in, but that's fine. Okay, there is one thing here, criteria from JSON, that I left in accidentally. But okay. So, looks like that did go just fine, so we should be able to eat our deviled egg, and it will open up a thing, and then we should be able to see in here. Yeah, there we go. This is obviously a problem that happens if you only have the one pact. I may have to tweak that, but successfully it has done that. Grand. Okay. Next thing I'm gonna do is add more. Okay. So, to add more, we open this up in our notepad. So there is tier 0 in its entirety. We're gonna add a few more. Say 4. Now remember, they are allowed to have no rewards. They are not allowed to have no criteria. So if we remove that, like so, should be good. And let's just change these names as well. Okay. So let's add a weight. Actually, that should be tick. Let's say 200. Should be about 10 seconds. Doesn't need any conditions. Okay, and let's have a different reward. So let's say loot table. And now I need to remember what the jargon is for that. Read from JSON. There we are. JSON array, object, loot. So that should be an array, shouldn't it? So that needs to be square brackets. And let's quickly open up the loot table list so we can actually find these things. What's a thing that actually drops stuff? Simple dungeon. Not sure if that's correct, but we'll find out in a hot second, I guess. Yep, good, okay. And let's add another one, which I think is like entities. Just to make sure this actually does take multiples. Let's go witch, why not? This is the witches one, we might as well make it a witch one. Okay. Make that a pig. And let's see, what for that time one, for this last one, we'll just make it actually impossible. Shouldn't need a count, shouldn't need conditions. Okay, so this is the one that's actually in the config. So, we should now be able to boot this and see it try to load up stuff that wasn't in the original, like, hard-coded one that we made. Why did the pony take throat medicine? Because they were a little horse. Yep. Surprised Shisai never got the Mind Spiders or Eldritch Guardians haunting them. I think Shisai's whole shtick was heavily about, dealing with, like, corruption and taint and whatnot, so who knows. Parsing error, loading Fey Witch. Okay, what happened? Expected name at line 51, column 6. Oh boy. Criteria, wait 10 seconds, dot count. Okay, something went weird in our little, line 51? There? Not seeing a name here. What do you mean? Name at line 51, column 6. Count. Count is right there. I am confusion. That should be fine. Oh, because there's a comma right there. That's my fault. The best kind of fault. Because it's usually stuff I can fix. Okay, see if we got anything else going on here. Okay, loaded it. Good. So now it should have, what, like 4 levels with individually different things. Should being the operative word. So far so good, nothing has exploded, as near as I can tell. Yes, nothing has exploded so far. The words. Kill 1 Vex. Okay. I don't see a Vex. There's ostensibly a Vex around here. Hello? Oh, you flew under the world, you dick. Get up here. Come back. Ugh, how dreadfully unuseful. Get. There we go. Gods. Okay, there was no rewards there. I should make sure to turn that bar off in that case. Wait 10 seconds. Complete it. We got a bunch of loot, and now we have to kill a pig. Ooh, got a bunch of loot. Ooh, mending. Nice. Sweet. I feel like we got a lot more loot. I suppose we did go for the dungeon chest. The dungeon chest can be pretty heavy. Okay, this looks to be working out fine. Yeah, just assorted loot. I feel like I should maybe have a means to, like, identify that. No collision detection. The Vex's special thing is that they are actually able to, like, pass through solid terrain. So that one evidently was just having trouble identifying me as a threat. They must. I can only presume that their targets are set by the summoner that creates them. If you may ask a question about a phrase in Japanese, you gotta email it and don't trust Google Translate. I make no promises about it being accurate if I try to translate it, but go ahead. Okay, kill one pig. And then we got some XP. Yay! And then is the end, apparently. Grand. Doi tashimashite. I know that one. I think that's thank you? Or something to that effect. It's definitely a polite term. I can't recall exactly what it is. It's not offensive, I can tell you that much. But okay, so we have successfully loaded a default pact. We have then modified said pact, and it has remained useful, provided you actually enter the data properly. Yay! You're welcome? Yeah, I know it's a phrase that you can just Google and you'll get the right answer 1,000 times over. It's not something rude or anything. Quite the opposite. Yeah, you're welcome. Alright, so the GUI obviously needs some fixing, but we have successfully hooked up our pact system to the data going through our config, so we're now actually able to do all of that stuff. Yay! It also means I can start putting more stuff into here and making it actually real and whatnot. Okay. So where's GUI pact? So your current pact always displays at the middle when you open up the pact window. You can't go left or right. So from there, it should be pact left and pact right down here somewhere. So if right dot pact does not equal this dot current pact dot pact, I guess, then you can go. And then the same again with the left, and that should just mean that we only get the one, if there's only one pact. Here. Doma arigato. To effects, there is no such thing as walls or floor. Yeah, I've actually referenced the Rex a fair bit when I was developing the bullets, because they have to go for terrain as well. Because if they just destroyed it, if they actually just made a tunnel, then they would be hideously bad for the world. It's like when you let a if you let a ender dragon loose in the overworld, it will just carve through the terrain, and if you leave it long enough, which of course the bullets are meant to be left alone for a fair while, they just turn it into Swiss cheese. It's awful. You don't want that at all. So it's much better for the bullets if they just pass through the terrain, and that just creates all sorts of problems in itself, because you have to disable collision, which also disables their capacity to collide with the floor beneath them, and therefore they immediately fall through the world unless you disable gravity on them as well, and then you have to like re-implement it to a fault. It's just, oi. It is such a pain. The existence of Vexes is the bane of my existence because they are immune to your hell wall. Oh dear. Okay, so we got that working. All that works now. Hooray! That means we can get rid of all of that. Lump. Goodbye. Don't need you anymore. Anything we can get rid of in here? Nope, that looks fine. Yeah, nice. So much code we can just cut out because now we've implemented a lot more code for it. Could say that the Vexes cause you vexation. Okay, so yes, as I said, I wanted to have 3 default pacts for the food, the generic, and the drink. And I want to have at least 5 end games. And then I have a whole bunch more other stuff to do on my to-do list. Like if I just bring up modding in Bedmon, you can actually see the whole list in here. So, there we have it. That is the full list. So, complete the pact system with at least 3 default pacts, add the Chrono Parents, implement the Kyrian, add a pact control command. Could probably try doing that now. Add Disguise for the untyped changelings, fix the Quadruped model for the changelings, finish the Whale Stomach dimension, finish Whale textures, finish Changeling Hive rooms. Maybe I should also put on the list, implement the Reputation UI. Not sure. But anyways, I evidently need to go sort something out. So I'll be back in like 20. Apologies for that. Or maybe I just take an early break. Either way, 10 to 20. You'll find out, I guess, either way, because yeah. And if you guys want to try and come up with some endgame ideas, then kindly do so, and we will see what I can get done in the final hour of the stream tonight. So, little early break. Catch you in a mo. Right, everybody. Welcome back. So, I have realized that there is one thing that I did not test with that little run through. And firstly, I'm actually going to quickly correct another thing I overlooked with the tiers. Is that we should only render the rewards if there's actually any rewards. So actually want to get the tier from the pact, don't we? Which should not be too difficult. Dot get tiers. Tier dot rewards dot is empty. If not, there. Criteria should never be empty. What version were command blocks added? 110, I want to say? Something 110, 18, stuff like that. Seems about right to me. Okay, so now we should only see the current witch pact in the middle and nothing on the sides because there's only the one, and we should only see the rewards box if there are rewards. Just keep things neat and tidy. Why do you ask, Marsh? So just gonna quickly make sure that works properly, and then we're gonna actually write an end game into our config file and see if it actually gets read properly. 1.42? Ooh. You need one, but you're using 1.7. Oh. Let's see. Added command blocks in 1.4.2. Way back in October of 2012 with the pretty scary update. Oh. Yeah, they should be in 1.7 then. Just not in the creative menu? No. Command blocks are not included. Command blocks and barriers are not included. You have to / give them. Perfect. Okay. So now we only see the witch in the woods because there's no other pacts that we could possibly have. And we actually, if we complete the killing of X again, oh boy. Oh sure, now you fly around. Engage me! Get back here, you dink. Am I gonna need to get bow and arrow out at this rate? Oh, finally, you're actually in like combat mode. There we go. God, that was harder than it had to be. Okay, yes, no rewards on that tier, so it is not listed as having any at all. Good! And there's our assorted loots. Yay! Okay, very good, very good. So, just, dear God, I have to clear my inventory. Or at least clean my inventory, that works too. So much stuff here that is no longer needed. Apparently I already got rid of the cookies. Okay, right. So, I don't believe I've shown these guys off just yet, but just real quick. Here we have the current model of the Lightling. They are literally just a block on legs right now. I will be adding eyes to them. I just need to figure out exactly in what fashion I should do so. They're meant to have, like, 1 to, like, 5 eyes, and I guess I probably need to code some, like, arrangements there so they're a bit more coherent as opposed to just being, like, however. But obviously, I feel like the eyes need to be animated to some degree as well. Like, they need to be distinct eyes, they shouldn't just be, like, all the same. But, yeah, there's the current model of Lightling. If you happen to wonder. But okay. So, let's go to our config and let's add an end game. Which is from the end game line. Up here. And in our case, I think we want to have it be Varod Changeling. Actually, let's make it Lightning. Just make it that for now. Maybe you could have a floaty variant. I mean, there's how much I want to put into them, I guess, really. So maybe the floaty variants are the ones that you capture in, like, bottles or stuff. I don't know. Okay, loaded from config. Good. Make them leashable? I think they might already be. I can give it a shot. Okay. So let's see. Lead. And the game mode 0. Yep, can't quite reach you from there. You are stood right in the middle now. There we go. Okay, yep, they are already leashable. That is already a thing that you can do. Yep, I didn't do it. It's fine. Add P. This should be packed drink. No, actually, we do actually want the packed food for this because it is the one that we have determined. It's packed. Like Kieran isn't actually in right now. Okay, Killer Vex. Come on, get down here. Phew. And then in 10 seconds, I get some random items. Bunch of them, jeez. And then I kill a pig, and then I should get struck by lightning. Essentially. Yeah, that happens. And we have a bunch of lightlings. And a semi-eternal storm. Hooray! Good to know that worked. And also that I was given the appropriate potion effect so I didn't die from it. Oh, night marsh. Oh. Obviously these guys don't have anything built into them just yet. They have no concept as yet of, like, retaliation or anything, really. They don't have an attack built into them. The Lightling faction is now friendly towards you. That would be significantly stranger if, on the basis that I wasn't actually told that they were, like, helpful towards me. But good to know that they're taking into account that I'm murdering them en masse. All good. Okay, let's get the weather, shall we? Yes, they will be zappy. Not 100% certain how to zappy them, but they will be zappy. Yep. You went fox mode, huh? Just while I wasn't looking? doing stuff in 1.15, I did actually get to see foxes for like the first time in game in person, and oh, they're adorable. Very yippy boys. Okay. Leave my inventory again. So good to know all of that works. So other things that we can do, we can make reputation its own thing inside the config. Yep. Nope, that's not what I'm looking for. Reward type, that's what I'm looking for. Call that rep. And we're going to also want CL. For caster level. And is there anything else that we should need? Let's think. Those are the two obvious ones I can think of. Reputation and caster level. We haven't put spell lists into player data just yet, so that's maybe another thing that we might want to talk about. So, look, put that into spell there, and I do think we want an item, just an individual item. And now it's complaining at me because I don't have handlers for all of these things just yet, but there we have it. So item, reputation, cast level, spell list. Is there anything else that we might want to put in? Command? Just a singular command as opposed to a function? Because functions are their own, are an entire thing. It's like a list of commands, generally speaking. You don't necessarily want to have a function, it's just one thing. It's kind of annoying. Are there any other kinds of rewards that people in the chat can think of? Let me know. What is this thing that's just like showing up on my... Oh, okay, right, yeah, it is the ear loops to my plague mask. My little homemade, handmade plague mask. Yeah. Cat isn't a reward. It's a song. It's not a reward. So for that, we're gonna want an item stack, as opposed to a list of. We're gonna want a list of items. To reward the disc? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can do that with the items, certainly.
Player has joined the game.
Nandez, welcome. And then we just want to go through and give them. So, for item stack item in items player.add item stack that item. Simple as. Some other ones that cannot fail, so useful. Add loot from table, not necessarily for this. A cat egg, also a thing, yes. Okay, so read it from the JSON file now. That should be relatively straightforward. So that should be item stack. items. Equals JSON utils dot get item. From loot list dot get I. What's the member name want to be there? Item, I guess. Oh, J, no mistake. Given that Minecraft mobs breed both through food and through eggs, would they be monotremes? I guess. Oh, that's an item on an item stack. Is there an item stack in here? There should be. You'd think there would be. Okay, gonna have to be a little bit more complicated then. I'm used to using I as the initial. It's IJK or ABC or XYZ. That's the what's the phrase for it? Like 9. The noptic? Okay, and then an integer for how many. We should check to see if it's actually there. Has field entry count. Then that, otherwise I just think 1. And we also need meta. That starts at 0. But I think that'd be data. I think that's what the standard is now. Amount, then meta. I think it was determined that mammalian Pokemon are monotremes. Quite possibly. Okay, so that doesn't allow for MBT data, but getting there. And we have in fact already determined how to do that, so vo helper dot MBT from JSON, which should be JSON utils dot get JSON object from the entry MBT. So let's see, JSON utils dot has field entry MBT, then that, otherwise a new MB tag. Got that. What's your problem? Cannot convert from MBT base to MB tag compound. Cast. Okay, so if MBT actually has tags, let's generate our item stack. And stack.setTagCompound MBT. Okay. That should be all set to actually give us an item now, instead of just using loot tables. So let's go to here, Let's say we want item. Do we call it item or something else? Yes, we do. Okay, just item. And our data is going to be... Let's see, from items... Not loot doesn't make any sense here. Pair of objects. Let's see, have ID, Minecraft, diamond helmet, I guess. That's just one of them. And ID, Minecraft apple. Count, say 5. And NBT. Let's see. Display. Name. Let's say Whitechapel. I think that's how the data goes. I can't remember. Now I have to try and figure out what the data values are. Damage. Why is display all the way at the end? Okay, yes, it is display name. Gotcha. Okay, good. Right. So, if that is correct, both of those should give us a proper item, and we should actually be able to use them. So, we just have to go through Kilovex and see if that reward actually is included over here. That would help. There. We shouldn't have a worry. If it's not in that list, it should still just return null. We shouldn't have a worry about it. Okay, there we go. Obviously, I've got these 3 to do, but if we can get item going, that's a start. Theoretically, you could just use the command one to change reputation and cast a level and stuff, but it's convenient to have it just in its own thing. I remember where this line comes from. I know exactly what the context of this sentence is. It's only mildly cursed. Okay. Begin our pact. Game mode 0, so we can actually check it. Kill Vex. Right. No rewards on that tier. Wait a bit. And I have some items. Okay, so we've got the diamond helmet, and we got apples, but they don't have the MBT data. Okay, that's a thing we need to fix then. So why didn't we not have the MBT data? But it is right there. JSON element to that. Yes, we should have the object. If it has it, we create it from there, then it should be the thing. Okay. Should have had tags, we know that much. Just put in a checker here. We clearly did manage to get to that part at least, so there's that. Thousands of lines of code, I mean, yeah, always. Everything else here can default, that can't. But hey, we got very close there. If we can change the NBT data, we can do all sorts of things like add enchantments, add special properties, add special unique lore, that kind of thing. So that's the thing we really want to get working here. 99 bugs in the code. This isn't even bugs. This is functional. It's just not functioning as intended. Like, I could release this, it would just have a piece that didn't work. Doesn't cause a crash, doesn't do anything. It just sits there. But yeah, there is a problem with the NBT. Is it because I'm using an element? Probably. NBT from JSON is probably what we want. And let's move that reward down, or up, rather. So that I don't quite have to go through the whole thing. Actually, no, that's fine. Let's make that a pig. Just so I don't have to keep summoning them. So helpful that they're in the config now, yay. I can just change them and then boot up and done. No problem. Don't have to refresh resources, don't have to delete stuff to get it back through. Ah, it's lovely. So it might not feel like we've done very much tonight, but we have achieved greatness. We have invented the wheel. We haven't done anything with the wheel, but now we can do things with the wheel because we've invented the wheel. Okay, was there any problem? Nope, doesn't seem it. And for that, in this trying time, I shall have an egg. And wait 10 seconds. Still says apple. Interesting. What's going on there? Okay, there's a problem. Still a problem. Oh, I'm an idiot, that's why. That's the problem. The problem is I'm an idiot. There we go. Okay, so that is the correct NBT data. But isn't that not also what we have here? NBT should go through that. Let's expand this a little bit so we can actually stick some information in it. 99 bugs in the code, 999 bugs. You take one down, pass it around. 1,872 bugs in the code. I butchered that, but oh well. So let's see what we get read in here. MBT display name which apple? Okay, yeah, that is actually the correct code. That is absolutely correct. Oh, I am a complete idiot. That's just a brand fresh new thing without the actual stack data that we just added. This is why I don't get paid for this. This is why I'm not employed as a programmer. Ay. Could you imagine if we spent like several hours recompiling the code, only to discover that I'd been a complete hecking moron and just shoved the wrong variable through? Ay. Right now, that should work just fine. Shouldn't be any problem for it now. I'm employed for this because the market is flooded in my area. What few jobs there are taken by people who are far more skilled and competent than me. And wait a moment. Because the next one is a timer. Here we go. Yes! Witch apples! We got it. MBT data is correct. Hurrah! Oh man, my hat's beaten up. Oof. One thing I'd like to do with the hats is actually add a render layer to them so that you can combine them with any gem and just put that gem in the middle there. Because that'd be a nice little aesthetic detail to them, I think. Little... Is it called a fixation or something to that effect? A fixator? Very cool. There's like a specific term for like hat ornaments of such kind. But okay. So yes, we have our witch apples now. Grand! Which means also that the item reward is working perfectly. Let's see, what's the next one we could try to do real quick? Running a command is probably an important one we could try to get running. So there's reward function, but we want to do command. And I'm trying to think. Probably the best place to look for code on that would be, in fact, the tile entity for command blocks. You can point out a number of AAA games that made far worse mistakes. Look, AAA games being pushed out hurriedly and underfunded is not equivalent to me being bad at this. That is very distinct. Okay. Auto condition man, yeah, combined base logic. There's the rights. Set auto, set condition met, send to client, get mode, is conditional, validate. The logic is about the only thing I think of here. So there's position vector, there's world, command, with a string. Right, there we have it. So we are going to need a string, which is our command. Also a one-man team. I don't know, actually flying isn't a man, so yeah, that would be a one-man team, wouldn't it? Okay. Cannot take from players, so that's irrelevant. Repaired your house, got 2 new cats to replace the one you lost. Repaired your chicken coop, got new chickens. Repaired the path outside your house, and now working on fixing the church, in which the only exterior entrance remains, but the rest of the church was scrambled to spawn out with the hell walls. You can reference that. Nice! There's Streamer's Curse. There's also Streamer's Luck. Okay. Mock duty. Yes, that's all that. So where's the point where this gets used? Just paste this into here for a moment. Like, there must be a point where this is actually referenced. It's private, so it has to retrieve via that function. Execute chain. Update tick. Updates the comparator. Okay. What is that? Trigger. Using that world. Okay, so there's some special information here that we're going to need. And we probably want to execute this from the player. Okay. So block pass position, private final world, and we're also probably going to actually need the command itself. Okay, so for that, return world. Yeah, type 0 should be correct. That should just be singular. If you need to call multiple commands in a line, you should just use the function. Logically. So that should be player position and player.emc server. Change to Mabine server, apparently. What is that variable type then? That is Minecraft server, of course. Okay, so return server there. Update command should never be necessary, to the best of my knowledge. Yeah, I don't think that'll be remotely necessary. If search equals ignore case the command stored, then the last output string is hash itslipafutsli. There's some kind of Easter egg here that I am not getting. Something, okay, it's related to,
Just to make this official, you deserve positive self-talk as much as the rest of the community does.
Lies. The community is awesome and full of wonderful people, including you, Para. I'm just a parasite that survives entirely by their kindness. Okay. Should be some vector positions here we need to use as well. Here we are, yep. Don't think I can't turn that kindness back on you. Yeah, the block update doesn't need to be changed at all. Fill in the info, probably can. Don't know what that's used for, but... And then we can test it with something very straightforward, like setting the weather, I guess, or the time. Update command is, I think, just, yeah, that just notifies the block update. We don't need to care about that. This is a very fire and forget kind of thing. Okay. Case, command, return, new reward, command, dot read from that data. Okay. Heck willing, that should be functional. We will only find out once we actually try to use it, though. Right, this is the one that has nothing happening in it. So let's just drop one in. So type command data command. And let's have it say slash weather. Let's see, what are the weather commands? Clear, rain, or thunder. Rain, set that. Okay. That should hopefully mean that it automatically starts doing so. And let's just get rid of this pig for the moment. Right. So now, when we do the thing, it should hopefully start raining. If you're a parasite, then you're the best type of parasite because you've done all the good things. I mean, I engage in capitalism. I dance and then people give me money and I use it to live. That's capitalism. So naturally, I cannot be entirely good. I denigrate capitalism, yet I engage in capitalism. Very curious. Okay, so what we're looking for is for the heavens to open. Entirely of their own accord. I don't have a pact. That's interesting. What happened there? There was some kind of problem loading the pact, it seems. Yeah. I'm guessing I left a comma where I shouldn't have left a comma. Yep, yes I did. And I don't currently have a command to say reload the pacts from config. Should we check if there's anything in here that actually asks for the handler and then doesn't add it if it's null? Yes, good. Just need to be certain of that. Was there a problem this time around? Apparently there was. Line 36, column 4. Did the same thing. Even then, one would have to purchase the land to legally live there in the current system. Not true! It depends where it is. West Antarctica, for instance, has no claims. Ergo, you can live there just fine. And according to New Millennia canon, I am living there just fine, give or take. Okay, no problems that time. How would one farm in West Antarctica? Heat lamps, solar power, wind generation, hydroponics, in short. Here we go. Ta-da! Hurrah. And now wants me to kill a pig, and then the lightlings will spawn. Ha! Some would say Antarctica is some say it's Antarctica, some would say it's a snow planet. Yes, welcome to Hoth. Okay, so we got commands going. Hooray! We could theoretically make it a list of commands, but that's functionally just a function by itself anyways. Like, I don't know how much necessity there would be for it at that stage. But hurrah, that's another thing off the list. So then I believe the last ones are reputation, cast level, and spell list. Capitalism still pervades because you'd still need a way to get to West Antarctica. I mean, survival of the fittest still exists because I have to survive to infancy. Like, that's not saying very much, bro. Could put reputation in, probably. Swim there on a mat of floating vegetation. Free transport. Looks at the vast bulk of kelp washed up on the British shores. It's free real estate. Right, unless anybody happens to have some more ideas for rewards, or ideally endgames, I believe that's all I have for you tonight. So I hope you've enjoyed. So to summarize, what we have managed to do is hook up JSON config files to our pact system, so we are now able to just open up any text editor and alter what pacts are available and what they do and what you need to do to progress them and what happens at the end, all sorts, very easily. And we added a few more rewards that Minecraft itself does not have. We have the item, so we don't just have to say have a loot table. We've got command, so we don't just have to say use this entire function. Much easier to address and change and update to whatever you like. And we've got a few more coming up specifically to deal with stuff inside of various oddities. Yay! Next stream, I guess we'll be progressing through my to-do list more. We're trying to get to version 5.3 with the release, or 5.5 at this point. 5.6 might honestly be the better way of describing it. And that'll be a release version. That'll be the first release version that Various Oddities has had in a year. But boy, is it going to be stuffed to the semi-literal gills with new content and stuff to play around with and enjoy. So, my next stream is tomorrow at 7. We have some more Dungeons & Dragon hats back once again with the second campaign. Then on Thursday at 9, we have some more Monster Hunter World, where we may hopefully actually take down Velkhana successfully this time. And then on Friday at 9, we have some more Vampire. And at 7 on Saturday, we have some more Dungeons & Dragon hats main campaign, which I run Bartertown. Followed at 9 with the Carousel. And we'll be back for more Various Oddities and whatnot on Tuesday at 9. Meanwhile, I do make videos on youtube.com/rubbercomic, and everything I do right now especially is paid for, thankfully, by you folks over at Patreon at patreon.com/lying. Although I guess also technically by the 26 and counting subs that we have over here. Thank you guys for being around and helping me stay alive. Thank you for helping me survive capitalism. And I hope you've all had a very nice evening, and I'll catch you all as ever next time. Stream, could you stop?